The penultimate weekend of the Sky Bet Championship season brings us to the Potteries. With Stoke City and Portsmouth are safe now from the threat of relegation and looking to finish the campaign on a high. Like Robin's Potters, the positives are that they've never been in any danger, in contrast to securing their status only on the final day of last season. The disappointment, of course, comes given the unfulfilled promise of so much more from a side who were amongst the early pace setters and sat in the top four. Relegation has been a much more likely prospect for Pompey of late, but their survival was secured on Tuesday night, despite a 5-1 defeat at Coventry as the Sky Blues claimed the title. Oxford's lost to Wrexham, then Portsmouth was safe thanks to 3 wins in a week prior to that, effectively saving their season. Cissé. We're seeing plenty of it. Deflection on the cross when it comes, it does reach Bozanic, that's blocked. Diao under pressure, still the chance. Fell at the feet of Tatsiki Seko. And it's deflected behind. Just a glimpse of goal and no more for Seko. He's perhaps not the player that Stoke City would have wanted the attempt to fall to, given that he's never scored for the club. Bishop. Bobby Blair involved as well, and he is able to slip it through for Segečić. All sorts of space for him to score, to slam in the game's opening goal. And put Pompey in front, emphatically. Afforded all sorts of space though, wasn't he, by Stoke City to do so. And he took it in confident fashion. And with the safety secured from the South Coast side, they are enjoying themselves in the sunshine in Staffordshire. Neither team really had threatened in the opening half an hour or so, until this moment. Another goal that Mark Robbins will be furious about, though. Converted confidently by Segečić. All sorts of time to set himself before thumping home the finish. Gina is going to take the throw towards Lamine Cissé and back again. Seko. Matthews just got his foot to that first. There is still potentially the danger though. Saw the Thomas, excellent ball back in. Out on the line, Phillips is in there and it drops behind. Agonisingly past the post as far as the Potters are concerned. The closest they've come to parity since they fell behind. Just didn't quite fall for them in front of goal. There were a fair few who might have fancied it though. Excellent ball in by Silver Thomas. The initial chance, really the big chance, was for Cissé. The sort of quality required. Won 4 of their first 5 this season, did Stoke City, to go to the top of a very early pile. Only lost 3 of their first 14. 5 defeats and 6 followed, and that really has set the tone for the second half of their season. And to Bae Junho. Lofting it in towards Cissé, who rose well. Gallagher is underneath it when it comes down. Bozanic gets the shot away, but it doesn't overly extend. Ben Kinnock is down to make the stop. A bit better though from Stoke City, and certainly they are sustaining a bit more pressure now at the end of this first half. Get the end product. Portsmouth then, in their famous blue, to get the action back underway. Key format left and right as we look at it in this second half in Staffordshire. Segečić's goal, the difference, as Dizelle sends that forward. Corby Bishop is able to come away with it, does have plenty of options in support as well. Dizelle to Blair, who's able to turn and get the shot away. And down goes Simpkin to make the save. Something that he would have expected to make. Will be disappointed by the lack of protection afforded him by those in front of him, despite the numbers that they have back to try and deal with the danger here. There's Thomas. Luke LaRue getting back to him, getting an important foot in. Assuming the responsibility. Silva Thomas. This takes it, a really good delivery, and it's guided home for the equalising goal. It hasn't taken long. Lamine Cissé has levelled it at 1-1. Just a shade over 2 minutes into the second half. To restore parity for the Potters. Well, they toiled throughout that first half for no reward, but it's a different story since the restart. Third championship goal of the season for Cissé. He was on the end of that Thomas delivery. He'd always luck the most likely, mentioned it a couple of times. And again, he comes up with the stellar service from the set piece. All Cissé had to do was just guide it home, really, and he did that really well. It was in the way, but he couldn't control the touch. There's still the danger, therefore, and it goes deep towards Segečić. And the angle was just against him, and he can only steer the header into the side netting. Chance for Portsmouth. Segečić had the angle against him. There's Dia. A bit of time and space. Ogilvy, to whom the same applies. Rather less so, Josh Murphy. Murphy's done well, fabulous footwork, and an excellent ball in, and it's turned in by Segečić to restore the Portsmouth lead. He's got himself another one. And it owed much to Murphy, who's made a major difference since coming on. How they've missed him this season. The season that they spent struggling is ending, perhaps, with celebrations in the sunshine. The Potters punished again by Pompey. And the goals keep coming for Segečić. Bishop's presence here was important as well. Murphy's ball in was excellent. That's the faintest of touches, really, but the most important. Adrian Segečić just got in front of Gibson, got away from Gibson. Last time they did a league double over Portsmouth, it was in 2010, and they were both in the Premier League. Off in the game. Segečić again. Plenty of support as well. Oh, it's flashed across the face of goal by Williams. And wide. What a position that he found himself in there, Jordan Williams. Forward from full-back. Thanks for Portsmouth to put some breathing space between the sides, and he may well feel that he should have done so after Segečić had kicked him out there. Now here goes Segečić. And still with Segečić for the hat-trick! Brilliantly done! And surely wraps up the win for Portsmouth. They are revelling in these scenes. Safety secured earlier in the week. And now they are playing with freedom. And Segečić is revelling in his role. He'd only scored 6 times all season before this afternoon. He's just claimed the match ball. And you felt when he popped up in that position that you knew what was coming, given the game that he's had. Just out of the reach of the keeper, and perfectly into that far corner. Another really smartly taken goal from Segečić. And cue the home fans heading for the exits, those that were still inside the stadium at that moment anyway. Not too many of them left now. Chamadou in the meantime. And it goes. Well, 3-1 they were beaten here by a Millwall team who moved into the top two as a result on Tuesday night, but now trading by the same scoreline against the Portsmouth team, continuing to move further clear of trouble. With the throw. And it's the final action of the game. The reception from the Stoke City fans tells the story here. It's John Mousinho and Portsmouth who celebrate, who enjoy themselves today with the pressure off. They have reaped their rewards. They have won again for the fourth time in five to move within a point of the Potters. Success on their travels with something to spare in the end for those from the south coast, thanks to Adrian Segečić, who's got all three of their goals against the Stoke City side, whose slide continues at the end of the season. Segečić at the centre of the story. Portsmouth who celebrate. It's finished here. Stoke City 1, Portsmouth 3.